Welcome again to the Clive Barker Podcast. This is episode 107. We thank you for your awesome support. Clive Barker news and updates on the Kickstarter, where we're at, and thank yous for all of our awesome backers. Coming up next. I guess to start out with, let's do our Kickstarter thanks and kind of a breakdown about where we are. So we got up to 1,450 on our Kickstarter. You know,
that's
with
pretty
our
good.
$100 goal. That was pretty cool.
That is very good.
And actually, I was thinking about that. If we had done a $100 goal, and it was like two people buying T-shirts, we wouldn't have made any money at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, this worked out. I mean, it's definitely covering all of our costs plus a little bit extra to cover, to be able to upgrade our equipment. Like, in case people haven't noticed, Rob, your microphone is a huge upgrade.
It's so much better.
Yeah, and Jose, you have that same one now too.
Yeah, because I was using an old microphone, and before that I was using a headset, and so that's not appropriate for podcasting at all. So this one's much better. Yeah,
it sounds totally crystal clear. So we one thing we were just talking about a little while ago is I think that when we got caught up in the excitement of it and going through all of our stretch goals and, hey, we got to add more stretch goals. That happened 2 times. So we had to make up 2 new sets of stretch goals after we went through the first one. And we didn't think about how much time it was going to take to do all of those audio commentaries and videos and stuff like that.
How many audio commentaries are there?
It's like 22 or something like that.
I got a list of the stretch goals that we have here. We had 27 stretch goals. And I don't know, I'll just go by them really quickly. So it's like Transmutations, Rawhead Rex, Dread, Candyman 3, Hellraiser 5, 6, and 7, Saint Sinner, Hellraiser 8, The Plague, Hellraiser 9, Nightbreed the interactive movie, and Nightbreed the action game. They will be video reviews. The Yattering and Jack is a TV episode from Tales of the Dark Side that we're going to do a commentary for. Quicksilver Highway, that movie is pretty cool. I think this is the point where we started adding good stretch goals to it. Yeah. And then Jericho, the Jericho game, Clive Barker's Jericho. We're going to do a video review. Undying, do a Let's Play walkthrough of the game, hopefully, on YouTube. The Book of Blood movie commentary, Hellraiser Bloodline mini doc, which is going pretty well. Hellraiser 1. Nightbreed Director's Cut, Lord of Illusions Director's Cut, Hellbound Hellraiser 2, Hellraiser 3, Candyman 2, and The Midnight Meat Train. So we'll do commentaries for all those movies.
Which is something we've always wanted to do anyway. It just gives us a good reason to do them. So
Yeah, I guess the difference here is that we're going to have to fit them all into the remainder of this year and then all of next year, which, with our regular schedule will be a little difficult, so we're trying to get a few of them done here before the new year.
Yeah. We already have Transmutations done, and we're considering doing Rawhead Rex pretty soon.
Yeah.
And we haven't had a lot of feedback on Transmutations, but I think that's because probably most people don't have that movie available to them.
Yeah, it's pretty obscure.
It is obscure. But we got, I think it still came out as a pretty good commentary, and we got it out of the way. I think our next one, Rawhead Rex, most people have seen it or have that movie compared to...
Or at least they know the story.
Yeah.
And probably will feel more attracted to listening to it, I hope.
Yeah, Transmutations is not based on any short story of Clive's. He just wrote a screenplay.
Oh my God! I just realized Dread is number 3 on the list, and I'm going to have to watch that movie.
Would you say that you're dreading the experience?
I am dreading the experience. Yes, I am dreading it because that's one of my favorite stories in the Books of Blood, and just I think the movie. It's weird. There are people who love this movie, and there are people who hate it. I am myself count myself in the camp of the people who hate this movie. I don't like it.
I don't.
Although
like it,
it seems like it's weird because the critically it seems like it did all right.
it did.
sure.
Yeah, I don't read a lot of bad reviews of Dread, but at the same time, I think fans of the short story aren't really happy with it.
Yeah.
It never got a high definition release that I could find. I mean, it's only on DVD, right?
I think so. Well, that's why we call it Hell on Earth, because we're torturing ourselves for you, for this Kickstarter. Because we love you. That's right, Rob. And so Dread. Wow, I'm not looking forward to that one. But hey, there's plenty of other cool stuff. Candyman 3, which at one point we did an episode about Candyman 2 and 3, right? Ryan?
Yeah, which are 2 completely different movies.
And when we were talking about this early, on a previous episode, you mentioned something about Candyman 3, and I said, "Oh man, I don't think I ever watched that movie." And then you were like, "Wait, but we did an episode on Candyman 2 and 3." And then I realized, like the next day, yes, I've seen that movie. Like to prepare for that episode, I saw Candyman 2 and 3, but I saw Candyman 3 like maybe a couple hours before we did the episode, and so I completely removed that from my mind afterwards.
It's like when you cram for a test.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So once I started watching the movie again, I was like, oh yeah, I saw this thing. There was this blonde chick, and there was this guy in this story here. So I was like, yeah, seen it.
Yeah. It was
so bad that I don't even remember it.
It was just like it was an HBO premiere movie. I told you it was directed by the guys that did the Carrot Top movie.
Was it really? So it wasn't a theatrical movie?
No, not maybe overseas. But, not here in the States.
Yeah,
I remember being. I was excited because it was a new Candyman movie, and Tony Todd was in it. I was like, how bad could this be? And I was like, it was pretty bad after I was done watching it.
So Rawhead Rex, we should be getting to here probably within the next week or so.
Okay.
If we can fit it in our schedules there, and then maybe we can get the next one, Dread, in before the end of the year.
Sure, that would be like a piece of coal in your Christmas stocking.
Yeah.
It's just so bad.
Yeah. So you're not a Dreadhead.
No, I absolutely not. I just think they changed the movie a little too much for me, and it's just I don't like it at all. But that's me, so it's worth what it's worth.
So as far as where we're at with shipping out the rewards, so I've gotten things sent to me. So I have the thumb drives, and I've already loaded them all up, which was 15 minutes each one times 20 thumb drives. It took a long time, but I got those all done.
Hell on Earth.
Yeah, they're ready to go. I've got all of my packing material and the baskets and the T-shirts have been. I approved the design that Jose that you made. I mean, it was pretty simple to approve because basically you already made the design. We already saw what it looked like on the T-shirt. I don't even know why they sent me a proof, but I guess they did anyway. So the order's in. I'm just waiting for them to ship those to me so that I can put everything together and send them all out. So hopefully in the next couple of weeks, those should all go out.
So when you say that you got approved, did they send you a T-shirt, a printed T-shirt or something?
No, they just emailed me a link and said, go here and look at this picture and check the order status, like how many of each size. Sure. And
I'm curious to know how the final result's going to be like.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, but I did that design in a couple of days.
Good design.
And I used some vector art for that and
very
everything. Yeah, so I added a few brush strokes to it to make it look a little more like something Clive would do.
Kind of like in a way, look like Ashbury from the director's cut of Nightbreed.
Oh, it does.
Kind of head in a way,
Yeah. It's got that big head in the back. So I can see that.
So it's Clive Barker-esque, but it's not a Clive Barker drawing.
Right. No. Because of copyright reasons, we couldn't put a Clive Barker drawing there.
Yeah, we could have asked them, but I think it would have been a little tacky because we're making money on something that he designed.
Sure.
Or theoretically making money on
Yeah.
Yeah. So so now let's thank the people who have contributed. So start off Roger Beckett. Thank you so much, Roger.
Yes. Thank you.
He was the very first one. Let's take a look here.
As he popped the Kickstarter cherry.
Yeah, well, and because of Robert, we have we actually hit our goal in the first 15 minutes of our Kickstarter.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. I remember you were talking. Yeah,
baskets.
You sent us You sent us the link to the Kickstarter saying, "Hey, we're live," and then all of a sudden it was like, "Oh, okay, we're already broke our goal." So cool.
Thanks to him and the second person, Elena DeGarmo, who is a really cool person, and we met her at the Nightbreed screening in Los Angeles.
That's right, and she even got a shout out from Peter Atkins on the last episode because she was at the Rolling Darkness review show. So thank you very much, Elena.
Yeah, thank you.
And Kip Jankowski has supported every time we've had any kind of a fundraiser effort. He's been there to support us. So we really thank you, Kip.
Thank you, Kip.
Thanks, Kip. You're a darling.
Yeah. And David Anderson was number 4, and David was great. He kept on tipping us over when we were getting close to certain goals.
He got us to Rawhead Rex, didn't he?
Yes, yeah, he did. He got us to Rawhead Rex, and then he also got us to Lord of Illusions.
Yeah.
Well, I can see that because he's a big fan of the Harry D'Amour character and Scott Bakula.
And of course, he's a good friend of the show. He's contributed a lot of discussion and information for us. And
join us for the Lord of Illusions commentary, David.
Yeah, please,
definitely,
we'd love that.
I don't know when that's going to be. It's a long time from now, but definitely.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
Bradley Gartz also has supported the podcast since we started, pretty much, and also we met him at the Los Angeles screening.
Yeah, that's right.
Nightbreed.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
thanks, Bradley.
Some of these people y'all met. That's really interesting.
Yeah. This next one is hard to pronounce. George Hadjipateras. So thank you, George.
Sounds Greek.
Yeah.
Thanks, George.
It does. Thank you.
Aaron Lindsay.
Oh, yeah. Aaron Lindsay. So she's on my Facebook friends list. And, I've known her for a long time since the Hellbound Web forums. So that's pretty cool. Thank you very much for your support as well, Aaron.
Thank you. Rob Rittenauer, I think I know who that is.
Yeah, who is that guy? He's...
No, Rob.
Already chipped in.
You also were another one of those people like Kip Jankowski and Brad Gartz that had supported our. Before you came on, you supported us a lot, and we definitely appreciated it. All that.
Yeah, no problem. I just was going to tell you, I'll let y'all. It's been a year, just on the 10th, that I've been with the podcast. I mean, when I started doing news, and it's just been a blast.
Yeah, well, it's been totally invaluable for us.
It's been great having you here, part of this, and also because I've known you for years and years. From the Hellbound Web forum where we first met, like years ago. I
remember when we first met, Jose, was when I put up in the thread in the Hellbound Web, there was a thread where you could put pictures of who you were, and I put a picture of myself, and the title was like I had my picture, but my face was just like looked kind of stunned. And it was like Kevin Yeager's reaction to the final cut of Bloodline. You must have enjoyed that. You friended me. Ever since then we've been friends.
That's right. I think it was around the time when the work print of Bloodline came out, I think.
Yes. Right? Yes.
Okay. So that's been a while, like 2006 or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
9 years.
Robert Schaefer. So this is an old friend of mine going back all the way to junior high. He's a little bit of a Clive Barker fan, but I think mostly he was being nice to us. So thank you, Robert.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Robert Schaefer.
Was he in any of those videos you showed us?
Yes, yeah, he was.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Kind of. In Kung Fu Dragons 1, he lit fireworks at the end, the last fight when we had all the strobe effects and the Roman candles flying everywhere.
Yeah, I remember that.
So he lit fireworks, and there were times when there were shadows against this cave wall where you could see his shadow, like leaning over, lighting fireworks.
Okay.
So that's
you got his shadow in there.
Yeah. So he's credited as Demon Shadow.
Okay. And we should say the Kung Fu Dragons was a movie that you did years ago, right?
Yeah, 7 movies.
Wow.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, we started off
fun.
just doing 2 of them or 3 of them for fun, and then we started incorporating whenever any of us had a foreign language class where we could get a credit as a project. Mm-hmm. So we would mix all of our different foreign languages into the same movies.
Oh, so you're speaking Japanese in those movies?
Yeah, so I'm speaking Japanese, and my friend Adam's either speaking French or Japanese or
awesome.
Or he's a linguist now, so he took every language there was in school.
Oh, nice.
He's a linguistics professor now,
and a supporter of the Clive Barker podcast.
No, that's Adam Worley.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's not a supporter. I've kind of lost touch with him. He's the big guy that had like the big braid and
yeah.
Okay, so Ben Warren, he's another person that supported us every year, and we thank you again, Ben Warren. You're awesome.
Yes.
Yes, you are. Thank you very much. And he's also in all the groups and stuff like that for Clive Barker on Facebook.
Oh, yeah.
So,
yeah.
Thank you, Ben.
Philip O'Neill, thank you so much, Philip O'Neill. We've been in a long chat with him ongoing about his what he's been discovering and what he's been working on with his fan edit for Nightbreed.
I think he's going to come up with something very special with that.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. The updates that he's been giving us, and I think he's also been doing some updates for some of the actors who were in the movie. People like Nicholas Vince and Hugh Ross and people like that. I mean, he's been in touch with them by private message, I think, and they've been very supportive of his project. So, hey, I can't wait to see it.
Me too.
Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff that never made it to the director's cut.
Or even the Cabal cut.
The director's vision is preserved in the Scream Factory's release. Yeah. We can always enjoy another take on the movie.
There's even stuff that we've seen that wasn't even in the Cabal cut, which is surprising.
That's right.
Justin Maroney. So thank you so much, Justin Maroney. We really appreciate all of your help. Jonathan Q, who's been on the podcast before. Thank you, Jonathan Q. He's a huge Hellraiser fan. He's even made 2 Hellraiser fan films.
Yeah. Hellraiser Prophecy and Winter's Lament, I think.
Yeah.
That's great. I mean, my Lament configuration made it to one of those fan films. So that's cool.
You helped. You helped write it or something, didn't you? Or didn't you say?
No, I offered him my box that he could use it in. It was a star box, so he used it in Hellraiser Prophecy, I think.
Oh, cool.
And he came on one of our episodes to talk about something Hellraiser, and I can't remember what episode it was.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He did that once or twice.
And he sells carnivorous plants.
That's right.
Nice.
Let me see if I can find his company's name and just give it a plug.
Yeah. Let's give it a shout out.
So, yeah, he's got a carnivorous plant business called Midtown Carnivores. So, check it out if you're in the market for some carnivorous plants.
Yeah.
Venus flytraps or whatever.
And going back to Justin Maroney, he's going to be an advertiser with us, and his the thing we'll be talking about is Geordie Calendar. So it's an iPhone app, and they're a company based out of Japan, and it's a calendar and a diary app. So we're going to look into that a little bit more and see how it works, and we'll be talking about that more later.
Yeah, and thank you very much for supporting our podcast, and we will be advertising for the next few episodes, I guess. Yeah.
So then after that, we've got Kessa Sun. So thank you very much, Kessa. We really appreciate that. That was awesome.
Thank you.
Thomas Nagovin, he's been on at least, I think, 2 episodes of our podcast.
Yeah, it's been those 2.
Yeah. And, of course, we love Century Guild. We love Thomas's time with representing Clive Barker and the and Century Guild and the
setting up the Imaginer Kickstarter.
Oh yes,
project.
Yeah, the Imaginer. So I've heard that Imaginer 2 is going to be coming pretty soon.
Yeah, I hope so. There were some updates. I'm not a backer, so I don't get updates on Kickstarter. But are you a backer?
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. I'm going to be getting that one here. But the last one, I think they said they have them now. I think they have the books and they're ready to ship them out.
All right. Well, that should be awesome.
We got an update with a survey asking like your T-shirt size and all that. So I think they're going to be coming around pretty soon. So yeah, Thomas Nagovin, he's been a huge supporter of us and our podcast, and we really appreciate. Yeah, I mean supporting us in lots of just different ways, not just this Kickstarter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. Jin Kelly. So thank you, Jin Kelly. We appreciate your donation.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Holly. Holly didn't leave a last name, but thank you, Holly. Your donation is super appreciated, or your pledge.
So some of these people got gift baskets, right? With signed paperbacks by Clive Barker.
Yeah, so Holly was the Inhuman Condition.
There you go. Excellent taste. And thank you for supporting us.
Yes, thank you.
Dimitrios Lakomentas.
Now, that's definitely Greek.
Yeah, it sure seems that way. Thank you, Dimitrios. Your support has helped us a bunch.
You're totally awesome.
Yeah. Marcus Justin Williams. So thank you very much, Marcus Williams.
Yes, thank you.
Kevin Corpy. Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you very much, Kevin, for your support.
Yeah. Derek Horwood.
Yeah, Derek. He's our Facebook friend. So thank you, Derek. You're great, and thanks to you, the podcast is getting a lot better in terms of quality, and we will give a lot of stuff back to the audience that's listening to us right now.
Maz Johnson. So people might know her as
I love Maz.
Yeah, she's one of the admins for the Hellbound Web Facebook page.
Oh, okay. I thought she was also one of the admins for the Hellraiser Facebook page.
No, I don't think so. That's
okay.
I'm trying to think of what her name is.
I didn't know she had helped out. That's cool. Well, thanks, Maz.
Yeah.
She's awesome too.
Yeah.
I don't want to overuse the word awesome, but everybody who's supported us on the Kickstarter. Sometimes I'm awed by the fact that we do this podcast and there's people out there who want to listen to us and want to support us, and they say, "Hey, you guys are doing a great job," and it really is rewarding because we're doing this out of love. It's just a few guys getting together, talking on Skype about Clive Barker books and movies. And that's just what we like to do. So it's great when you can do what you love, and people will support you for it.
Yeah.
So another pledge from Michael Plumides and Ann Saunders. So awesome. I just said awesome, too. Thank you, Michael and Ann.
Thank you.
Michael's been on the podcast at least a couple of times.
That's right. He was talking about
about his role in Nightbreed, and then Rob and I think we're going to say the last time was with Christine McCorkindale, who shooting a sassy in Nightbreed.
That's right, and it's too bad that the TV show that he was trying to get out.
I know that was
the Nightbreed TV show didn't exactly happen, but I think now he's doing some sort of project called Nocturnity. He's like reusing some of that.
Yeah.
He just posted on Occupy MIDI, and he just posted some cell shots of the character that used to be Decker. Now,
they're going to be comic art pages. It's going to be a comic now. So,
we should have best of luck with that.
Sure, in whatever publishing company that might end up being published. I mean, it's going to be great. I mean, he's just changing things and adding a few things here and there. So Nocturnity might be a really cool thing.
Yeah.
In terms of it being a comic, instead of a TV show, because TV shows are really expensive.
Don Bertram.
Thanks, Don.
So he does paintings, and he donates those paintings, the proceeds from those paintings, to charity, and we're going to be advertising that. Okay, so it's called, his art project is called Celebrate Imagination, and his paintings, and it's Texas Children's Cancer Center. That's all the proceeds from his. Oh,
that's great.
From his paintings.
It's cool that he does that.
Which is Don Bertram's Celebrate Imagination. Go to Texas Children's Cancer Center. So that's what we'll be advertising that, and it's going to feel good to be able to do, to help him. He helped us, and we're going to be helping him to get the word out and hopefully get some more money for the Texas Children's Cancer Center.
Yeah, it's a good cause.
That's always great. I mean, I've been to a pediatric hospital, and I've been to the oncology ward of a pediatric hospital. It's very jarring to go in there and see all those little kids with no hair, and it's really sad. But they're real fighters. So, my kudos to him for doing this charity thing with his paintings, and it's always worth celebrating your imagination. So, thank you very much for supporting us.
Yeah, thank you. Paul Audino. Thank you, Paul Audino. We appreciate you, and you're helping us out.
Absolutely.
Yes, thank you.
Astrid Klostercoder. Astrid Klostercoder.
Ooh, that sounds Swedish.
Yeah.
Or Scandinavian.
It does, yeah. I'm thinking in my mind about all of this. Did I under quote for the international shipping? As we read these names.
Well, thank you very much, Astrid, for your support.
Thank you.
Jose Leitao. It looks like your name is spelled with an O at the end instead of a U.
Oh, I get it. That's funny.
No.
Yeah, because they misspelled it in the director's cut of Nightbreed, but it's okay. Yeah, I had to put in some of my own money. So I would also like to thank my wife, Sarah, for all the nights that she ended up going to sleep while I was doing the podcast with you guys.
Yeah. And Simon Altman, the last person who put us over the edge and got us through our very final stretch goal. And in fact, I think at that point we had decided that we weren't going to make any more stretch goals because we were looking at how much we had promised to do, and he put us over the edge for the very last one, and we were $5 away from whatever the next one would have been, which we weren't going to make. So,
yeah, this Kickstarter really is a game changer in terms of the programming for the podcast, because it helped us realize that, hey, we do about 25 episodes per year, and we had 27 stretch goals. So even though a lot of these things are not going to be too much in depth because they're going to be commentary tracks and stuff like that, but they're still going to imply work, and they're still going to imply at least 90 minutes of talking about the movie and knowing what we're talking about. So this kind of makes it easier for us to plan our year of episodes, because this way we know what we're going to do. We're going to do the stretch goals with a few occasional interviews that we might try to sneak in there. So that's wonderful. Thank you very much to everybody who supported us.
And three of our backers wanted to help plan episodes. So what we're looking at with those is two of them wanted to do art episodes, but I think they have different focus. So probably those will be two separate art episodes.
Sure.
And then one Imagica, which we were going to get to probably anyway next year. So then he'll be joining us to talk about Imagica as well.
Right. So it's going to be Roger Beckett, who's a sculptor, right?
Yes. So Roger, that's right, Roger Beckett. And then Don Bertram.
And Ben's doing the Magic, isn't he? Ben Warren?
Yes, and exactly. Ben Warren was the Magica.
Oh, that's going to be pretty easy. Yeah.
So that'll be a lot of fun.
Looking forward to that. And looking forward to the art episode as well with Roger
too.
And Don.
All that stuff.
Yeah.
Look forward to talking to y'all.
Yeah. So that's kind of it for Kickstarter. Now you know where we're at. Basically we're in a holding pattern until the T-shirts get here. And then I'm going to have a flurry of packing and shipping.
All right.
Yeah.
Ryan's got a lot of done a good job in organizing all that stuff as well. So
thanks. I think this was a good learning experience for us too. We can kind of decide how we want to handle it for next year.
Absolutely.
I think that next year we definitely want to do Kickstarter again.
Yeah, I do too. I was going to ask you about that later.
I'm kind of wondering if maybe we don't want to do a stretch goal every $50 next time.
Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah.
We could try going for a stretch goal every $75 or $100 instead.
Yeah, I mean, it made it exciting, and we were always constantly bumping up by small increments because it was like, $13 more, and we're up to, Rawhead Rex or whatever, but. It was hard you did all of those posters, which I think that probably we haven't emphasized how cool those are enough.
Yeah,
I was thinking today it would be kind of neat to make an album that put those side by side with the original movie posters. Because I was looking at the one that you made with the very first one, the Transmutations one.
Sure.
And probably people just sort of glance at that and don't realize that that's not the original movie poster.
It's not the original poster. Yeah.
So I think
especially people who don't know what you look like on the podcast, I mean.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they probably see my profile picture, but I think it would be nice to maybe even do a blog post and just we can have them side by side and say, hey, this is something that we did for the Kickstarter that you might not have noticed.
Okay,
that
sure.
Sounds like that's a great idea.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I will definitely. I got all the graphics here. I mean, I just had some computer trouble recently, so I'm going to have to reinstall a bunch of things on my laptop because I had to replace the hard drive of it. But hey, it was really fun to do, and I would say a little over average photoshopping skills, and I really tried to do something that was fun for the Kickstarter. So
I personally have
really
a favorite that he did. My favorite, I think, was the one Hellraiser Hellseeker where you put your face.
Yeah,
that's my favorite. It just looked,
I think for me it's the first one still, just because
limitations.
I would say so.
The way it blended
what sells it is really. What sells that one is really your expression, Ryan.
Well, but the way you colorized it and put it back in made it pretty seamless.
That was funny.
It's like that's the poster.
So also the Bloodline mini doc, like I said, it's going well.
Oh yeah,
all three of us are working on it.
So much information on that, and
we
thought maybe it was going to be about 30 minutes, but maybe it could be over an hour. So,
well, I think maybe so. I mean, and now we've got Peter Atkins, our Peter Atkins episode. There was a lot of good information in there that can be used for that.
Certainly,
and probably talking to Paul Kane next episode will be the same.
Yeah, and I'm not making any promises, but we definitely have wanted to have Doug Bradley be a guest on the podcast for a while, but we haven't been able to get him, or haven't been able to approach him yet. But we definitely will try our best this year of 2016 to try to get Doug Bradley on the podcast. That would be great because he's the man. He's totally the man.
I've met him 3 times, and I've just been too intimidated to. I just have not had a good first impression on him, I guess. So
sure.
So
the times that I met him, it's always been in Portugal in small festivals. So he's not surrounded by the bunch of people who want autographs and stuff. But usually he's a little more reserved when
Yeah,
I've seen pictures of him where he goes to the parking lot and takes pictures next to someone's license plate that says Pinhead, or you know, someone is dressed as Pinhead and they're pretending they're putting their knife around his throat and all that stuff. To me, he was really kind and gentle, and he talked maybe for a while, but then he was like, okay, well, I gotta go get myself a cup of coffee or something, have a good time. So yeah, I mean, I understand. He's probably, you know, sometimes he's just he's bored in this convention, and especially if he's not being stalked by fans all the time. Mm-hmm. So I understand why he would.
I met him in Dragon Con back in '96, where Clive was there too. I'd watched, and they screened Hellraiser, and they were going to do Nightbreed and Hellbound too, but I just stayed. It was a Friday, and I got to watch. That's where I first learned the name, because they were making fun of the movie practically throughout the whole thing. And that's where I found out the first time the name of the movie was, what was the producer or some executive, and this movie should be called What a Woman Wouldn't Do for a Good Fuck.
Hellraiser,
that was what somebody said. And everybody got a good laugh. But I met Doug. He was sitting next to David Prowse.
Oh, wow.
And he was nice. I just asked him, for an autograph, and he signed the back of my Laserdisc edition of Hellraiser, and I asked him what he thought of Bloodline, and he was like, mixed feelings, but overall he enjoyed it. And I went on my way. I didn't really stand around and have a conversation or anything, but he was very nice. He smiled. So
it's a standard fan experience, I would say. I mean, there's people who fans used to complain more about, like Tony Todd, for example. Oh. Tony Todd, a lot of people would say, "Oh, Tony Todd, he doesn't even talk to you or anything. He just signs it and says next in line, blah blah blah." And then it's like recently I've started seeing more testimonies of people who say like, "Oh no, Tony Todd actually was really fun. He put his hand around me and he was like, 'Hey man, so did you like Candyman 1 and 2, blah blah blah.'" So he actually tries to make conversation with the fans. So sometimes they have good days, bad days, like everybody.
They're human.
Sure.
I had David Prowse got mad at me.
Oh, really?
He had all of these posters to sign, and I brought over my box for the Star Wars box set. Mm-hmm. Okay. And he's like, "You want me to sign a box?" Yeah, I mean, it's got Blu-rays in it that I didn't bring because I didn't want to pack them. But I guess it's a box. Because you really want me to sign a box? And he just rolled his eyes and he's like, "Okay."
Oh. Use the force, David Prowse.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
He could have force choked you. You were lucky.
Yeah, I should have said, "Can you sign it from James Earl Jones?"
Oh, no. I would love those.
Oh, I heard it was 30 years that he was mad about that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. I think he still talks about the fact that they dubbed him.
Yeah.
But when you... Yeah, that's what I was going to say. When you hear his original voice in documentaries and stuff, and it's this giant man, in a mask going like, "Where are the rebel plans in this space station?" And it's really funny. I don't do a good David Prowse imitation, but he's got that accent.
Yeah,
so that's funny. But yeah, he's the only bad guy who doesn't have a British accent in Star Wars. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All the other bad guys, they have a British accent, like Peter Cushing or the other generals who are in the conference room when Darth Vader force chokes a guy and stuff like that. So he's the only guy who doesn't have a British accent for some reason.
I think those were a bunch of that one scene you're talking about. I don't mean to get on the tangent here, but that looks like a bunch of Hammer film actors. I've seen those guys in Hammer films.
Sure.
Yeah, Peter Cushing was in Hammer films, and it just,
Actually, the guy that built the base station, or built the Death Star, I don't think he was British. Now that you mention it.
Okay.
I'm just thinking about his voice.
The guy who gets choked by Darth Vader?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he's British as well. He's been in also some Hammer movies, I think, or TV. Yeah. The guy who says...
This battle station is now the ultimate power in the universe. I suggest we use it.
Yes.
Anyway, so Doug Bradley, will try to get him on an episode. So let's see how that goes. And
Clive Barker news. I guess the most recent one is the Scarlet Gospels was nominated for Goodreads Choice Awards Best Horror Novel. So I've voted on that twice, I think, in two, because it's moved up a bracket, I think, and I voted again.
Uh-huh.
Oh, cool.
That's wonderful. Yeah.
Okay, I'll have to go back, and I didn't know it went up another bracket. I'll have to go do it again.
Yeah, I'm looking at this. I'm looking at the semifinal round nominees, and the Scarlet Gospels is still there. So
let's see if I can vote again.
Yeah, that would be great. I'm going to vote too. And so you can find that one in our news on our blog that you posted, Rob?
Yeah.
So did you guys get a chance to vote yet?
Yeah, I did.
I'm going to vote.
As soon as I made my the blog.
Yeah, because you posted it on November 10th, which was 2 days ago. Okay. So I'm going to vote on it now. Actually.
Yeah, I went to it and it's grayed out. So it's not like you can vote every day. Yeah, I think you can just vote every time it moves up in,
It's in the semifinals round now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So maybe if it gets into the finals, we'll get to vote again.
I'm sure
That's
it will.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
I think it would.
Yeah,
it's
so
cool.
Mark Miller's been on
of
Facebook telling everybody to vote for it too.
Yeah. I think it deserves it, personally.
Sure, yeah. I mean, I haven't read any of the other books, but,
Yeah.
But, sure, I mean, it's Clive Barker. Let's vote on him. Let's all vote on him and see if we can get it to the finals.
Yeah. So this V for Vice Versa sculpture, I think that the sculpture itself is older news, right? But it's...
They're just showing it off at this exhibition.
Curiosities in Chicago.
Yeah. And it talks about how the real Clive Barker, they're going to be working with David Richardson to create some new cool sculpts. He actually, I didn't make a blog about it. I should have. They had up on I posted it on the Facebook page where it was some prototypes of some Nightbreed medallions.
Oh, really?
Something like that.
You mean like the one that Jose has?
No, not like that. It's just something.
So, something related to it's not like a replica prop. It's not a replica. It's just a medallion that reminds you of Nightbreed somehow.
Yeah, something like that.
Somebody's been advertising. I saw on Facebook somebody was also advertising like little fishhook looking necklaces too, and they're like Hellraiser inspired.
I think what Rob is talking about is it was posted on February 21. There was a Nightbreed medallion collaborative sculpt, which is basically the Decker sketch that he did with the ink blots.
Oh, okay. With the bloody mask.
Oh,
yes,
okay.
I mean,
okay,
sure. The mask thing with the buttons and stuff. There is one that was made in bronze and silver or pewter. And it used to be on sale at the realclivebarker.com store. So, I think that's the Nightbreed medallion that you were talking about.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and it has Dr. Decker mask. And so I'll add that to the show notes. Or you can add it.
So for people that are bummed out that the Scarlet Box Hellraiser box set is sold out, they made a non-limited version that has the 3 movies, but it doesn't have the book from Phil and Sarah, and it doesn't have
the extra disc.
The extra disc, right?
Which I have the Scarlet Box. I just haven't had time to really get into it,
Yeah, but you did a wonderful article on the surgeon scene.
Yeah, I wanted to do a review of that for people that had were curious.
Yeah, you were kind of the one that broke that story because nobody had noticed it before your post.
Yeah, I think
so. We're still waiting on Danny to do his review of the Arrow set. So hopefully that will come soon.
Yeah, and Rob, I mean, if you want to do one also, I think.
I'll just I've done the movies. Probably will Phil and Sarah's, but I'd like to maybe do something on Phil and Sarah's book. Probably listen to Peter Atkins' new commentary for.
Well, and you could just
talk about the quality of the new images.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah, right. I mean, you don't have to, and you could just say, if you want to see retro reviews of the movies.
I'll do a review on the extra disc.
Yeah.
Because that has a ton of stuff on it.
Does it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you could say if you want to read my thoughts on these 3 movies, here are links to my previous retro reviews, but
connect them and
yeah.
Sure, I can do that. No, not a problem, because I do want to get into it and look into it for sure. Because the quality I saw on Hellraiser 3 looked great. The colors were, very were popping. Very nice compared to what I guess Peter Atkins was watching on. 'Cause I did go to Netflix, and that copy he's talking about, man, that's bad.
It's the TV format, right? The 4:3 or something. It's not the widescreen.
Which Hellraiser 3?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's terrible.
But speaking of terrible ideas, I just wanted to get into the interview that was recently done by Patrick Lussier and Todd Farmer. On the movie Crypt, and Todd Farmer did Jason X and Drive Angry and stuff like that. So, and here's what they had to say about what their story was going to be. I'm assuming this was a treatment. We wanted to make another movie with William Fichtner, revealed Lussier, who directed The Actor in Drive Angry. The idea essentially was that we never see the story of Frank getting the box. So imagine if Frank is actually the darkest version of Jack Bauer from 24 and Nicolas Cage from National Treasure. It would have been the evil National Treasure story. I'm not sure if this is a direction you would want Hellraiser to go into, but it gets better. He says, in the beginning, Frank is going to get the box, and he's in Shanghai. He gets caught, and they hold him down, and they hammer these fucking nails into his head. But he gets free and kills everyone. But he does get the box, which is being held by this guy who looks like he's all bloated and has been ripped apart by the Cenobites. Frank steals the box, and then bad things happen. So,
I don't know. It just doesn't sound like a very clear idea.
It also sort of spits on the Hellraiser. Because that's not what he bought the box. It's right. Yeah. The very first shot in the movie.
I know, right? When you think about it, it's weird.
Yeah.
And this sounded like it was going to be. Somebody brought up a good point, and the more I thought about it, it was who's the guy that makes all those cool? He made a cool Harry D'Amour custom figure. Very,
Jamie Braswell.
Yeah.
He made a point how this was going to be more of an action movie, and it does feel like that.
Well, it also sort of reminds me of like Hellraiser 6 and Hellraiser 7, where it's like people are running around trying to solve some kind of mystery, and they don't know what's going on, and they don't know what's real and what's not real. And
sure.
and I'm really tired of that crap, from Hellraiser movies.
I just, it depends on how they would do it, but I just don't understand why Frank would get nails hammered into his head. And
why would he survive?
Right. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it
just sounds like the way he describes it doesn't really sound like, I don't know if that's just something he just wanted to summarize real fast. It doesn't sound very formulated idea or concept. It just sounds like he's just saying stuff.
Right.
That's a good
I don't
point.
know.
I mean, it is true. I mean, it's not really fair to say that that's their final script, but maybe they shouldn't have told everybody.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, I don't think this is happening anymore. I mean,
no, it's
yeah, but I mean, it just is like people can throw ideas out there, and I was just reading a little bit of Paul Kane's Hellraiser book, and he was saying that, and Doug Bradley in the introduction was saying that when he finds himself on movie sets and people are saying, "Doug, is this okay to do?" And it's kind of like all these people who are making these Hellraiser movies don't really understand the rules, or if there are any rules. And Doug was saying, there's just make it good.
I think that kind of started a little bit after Atkins was out of the picture, like when they were doing Hellraiser Inferno.
Sure,
that was the first time that the director brought in Doug and said, "Hey, you want to rewrite some of this stuff that we wrote for you? We don't even know exactly what your voice is like, so voice in terms of character voice." And that's when he actually redid some of the dialogue in Hellraiser Inferno, where he's talking to Kirsty, and and they ended up putting that in the extras, deleted scenes. They didn't even put that in the movie.
Yeah, I know.
So once Peter Atkins left the Hellraiser series, that
kind of just
the Pinhead character just became much less interesting, in my opinion. But
yeah. Well, all the movies themselves just became less interesting.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the only one I can say I'm looking forward to watching is is I'll give Hellseeker a little because it has Kirsty in it. And I like the fact that they did a darker turn with that, but still the movie.
But originally she was just a character named Kirsty.
I know, you're right.
Yeah, it's so crazy. It's like you can't do that.
Doug.
It's such a weird script. This into the opening scene. It's just so stupid. I mean, I think it was Carl Dupre who wrote it. I'm not sure, but it's just horrible. And luckily they didn't put that in the movie. But yeah.
But that's another one of those too, where it's just like, somebody dozes off and then they wake up, and are they really awake, or are they really
Jacob's
asleep?
Ladder.
Or exactly. It's just there's so many rip-offs of Jacob's Ladder.
It's like the one they constantly were here for you, Trevor.
5, 6, and 7, and actually even 8 were all like that.
Yeah, they all had that stuff where you don't know what's real or not, and then there's like Pinhead appears and cuts someone's head with a meat cleaver, and then it's like, oh no, that was just a dream. It's God,
yeah. I never understood why Dimension. I don't understand why they let Clive out of the process of that. I don't, because they, it's appeared that they're the ones that wanted Barker back for the series.
I don't know. I think at some point Clive also was no longer interested in this because it's it's the law of diminishing returns. Yeah. It's like the movies are getting less and less money thrown at them, and it's like ultimately Clive is like, you know what? I think after 5, Clive just kind of gave up on it, and it's like I don't want to have anything to do with that.
Well, 5 they didn't even ask him.
Yeah. I think 6 someone went over to talk to him and show him the movie. Did.
Yeah. Rick Boda did that, the director, and from what I remember, Clive liked it. He actually gave him some notes of how to,
Is that right?
Yeah, to add in some cool little Cenobite moments.
Right.
Did.
We always get this stuff. We always do get this stuff like Clive liked it. It's always like something that the director of the movie says. So it's like,
that could just be,
Sorry, I'm not calling Rick Boda a liar, but it's like. It's kind of self-serving to say Clive Barker liked my movie. It's like, yeah, okay, we'll take your word for it, I guess.
Yeah,
but the reality is probably Clive Barker was polite when I talked to him about my movie.
Right, something like that. Anyway,
So
the Frank would be in Shanghai, and he would get nails hammered to his head and stuff like that. So who knows what this would look like as a film movie?
In its final form, it probably would have gone through a lot of changes.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the first one is good. I don't want it to be rebooted or remade or anything like that. So, like I said, I used to be a huge Hellraiser fan, but now I'm kind of burned out on it. The Scarlet Gospels was kind of like pulling me back into the whole thing.
Yeah.
It definitely rekindled my love of Hellraiser, to be honest, to be sincere. That's why I'm doing this Bloodline thing and all that. Because it brought me back. And talking to Peter Atkins and all this stuff, it's like it does rekindle the embers that are lying under the ashes. It's like, oh, God. You see Hellraiser 9, and it's like, damn, this is bad. I mean, I'm ashamed of saying I like the Hellraiser movies now. And then ultimately, the Scarlet Gospels came by, and it said, okay, well, here's something from Clive Barker, and
it's true.
It was good.
After all of these sequels, if you say I like Hellraiser, you have to qualify it.
Sure.
Because it's like it's like I mean, like Nightmare on Elm Street. Yeah, the first movie is great. Or Halloween.
I guess for those, I like them all, really. It's just because I don't take them too seriously as I do Hellraiser, I think. Yeah. I think I take Hellraiser a lot more seriously than Nightmare on Elm Street. And that may be because of the direction the series went in with, Dream Warriors and then, 4, 5, and 6, and 7, and 8. Freddy's dead. And
Freddy versus Jason.
I like the Freddy that doesn't make jokes.
I do, too.
Yeah. The Freddy that goes like,
or the Freddy that just is more.
Yeah,
exactly. That's pretty scary. The first one.
Yeah,
and he was just. I like the Wes Craven's New Nightmare too. That was kind of cool. The way they did them in that.
Yep. So go check out those things that we did. Scarlet Gospels, Goodreads voting. Go vote on it. Go check out the V for Vice Versa. It's started on November 7. the Curiosities exhibit, and it's going to go all the way to January. Right.
Oh, wow. So, yeah, if you're in Chicago, go check it out.
And, Patrick Lussier and Todd Farmer's version of the Hellraiser remake was that. And for people who don't know, Todd Farmer was actually living in his car not too long ago. And he wrote an article about it.
It's a very sad story.
It's a very sad story, yeah. So, features currently in the works. Like we already talked about, the audio commentary for Transmutations, then Rawhead Rex, and hopefully Dread by the end of the year.
Yeah.
Hellraiser 4 mini doc is going well. Rob, you found a lot of stuff about locations where they shot the movie, and
quotes
that's
from
really,
the old Fangorias and things like that.
And articles.
Also, working on a paper, I'm breaking down the script.
That's awesome.
Each section of how it was originally written, how it was originally shot, talking about comparing both the theatrical release to the script, and put my own thoughts on it as well.
Cool.
Yeah, we also been finding a lot of actors that were in the movie on Facebook, like the card players and people who never even made it to the final version of the movie.
Oh, is that right?
I sent you that link, Jose, of the actor that actually played, I guess, one of the clowns from one of the
Angelique's clowns.
Yeah,
in the 19th century.
He was. I sent you that, didn't I?
Yeah, you did. You did. Yeah, I think he was either Delvaux or Corbusier or something like that. Yeah,
I think he really is an acrobat or something like that.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. And I saw one of the card players the other day on Supernatural. He played an angel. He's an African American actor, and he plays. What was the angel that he plays? The angel that destroys cities, I guess. That destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah, and he was in a Supernatural episode. And he's the guy who opens up the first part of the box during the Angelique and card players scene. So that was fun too.
Bloodline.
Yeah. So we did some.
Wow.
And so Rob, you also did a review of the surgeon scene, like we mentioned. Ryan, you actually only have 3 cards left to complete your Imagica card game collection, right?
Yep. Yeah, so I've updated that. I've been working. Yeah, people have been contacting me because of that story. And I've been making trades with people, so I just got one of them. So I'm down to 3.
Wonderful.
I actually thought about buying a set at the real Clive Barker store. They're offering a box.
Are they really?
Of it's like over $100 though. Oh,
and the Nightbreed interactive movie review. So now that I've got the equipment to record from my Amiga, and I've did a test run recording that trailer from
Lord of Illusions. Putting that up there, man.
Oh yeah. So now I feel like I can get started on it. And those games are so annoying to play that I might be doing them in chunks over time instead of just sitting down and rage quitting and trying to start again. And
yeah, I mean, nowadays you can find anything about these games on the internet, including like walkthrough videos and the manual or what's weird? Guide.
I went to the Wikipedia for Ocean Software, and it skips these 2 games. Like, there's a gap in time in their list of all of Ocean's licensed games that just doesn't include these 2 Nightbreed games.
So weird.
Yeah. It's like they just don't exist.
Anyway,
but yeah, there are videos, for sure.
Yeah, I was actually playing Undying on this little laptop that I'm using right now. While I'm trying to fix the big one. Mm-hmm. But, I tried recording some footage on it, but it's just not – it's a 10-year-old laptop. It's not very good. So I was using Fraps to record it, and it's okay. But, yeah, now that we have – the Kickstarter has given us some funds to get some more equipment. You got that HD capture thing for your TV, and I got a new hard drive – to be able to record these games, a USB 3.0 hard drive, which allows because when you record these games, you record them uncompressed. It takes up like 10 minutes a game. They can take like 7 or 8 gigabytes, and then you have to re-encode them for YouTube and upload it. Mm-hmm. So once I get my big laptop up to speed again, I will definitely get started on Undying, and I'll see how that goes. I got the guide for it, the manual for Undying, and I never really did the complete walkthrough. So it's going to be interesting to do that for the first time.
Yeah, I look forward to seeing that. It's a great game.
Yeah,
that'll be cool.
Rob, you've reviewed Monsters, didn't you?
Yeah,
Paul Kane's Monsters.
If y'all have not read that, I highly recommend it to anybody.
All right. I'm going to start reading it over the weekend as well.
It's a series of just short little horror stories, but they're so powerful, and it just made me brought out. I'll put it in my review if you read it. Just how much I love monsters, and I pulled out. I've been watching old classic black and white Universal monster movies, and it makes me want to go out and get Godzilla. I used to have a bunch of all the Godzilla movies on DVD, but I had to sell them, and I want to get those. And I watched King Kong, the original. I watched Peter Jackson's.
The first King Kong that I've seen was actually the one from 1976 with
I like that one too. I liked all the King Kongs.
Jeff Bridges,
and Jessica Lange.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty good.
And Rick Baker did the effects, I think, for that, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, cool, yeah. It's so funny that you mentioned Rick Baker. The other day I was watching The Incredible Melting Man, and I think that was
I've seen that.
That's
one of his first movies. Yeah, one of his first special effects movies. Rick Baker.
It's pretty nasty gore scene when he finally melts at the end.
Yeah, that's a superpower you don't want.
Yeah.
No, you don't want to melt. And Ryan, you did a review of Blood Red by Paul Kane as well, right?
Yeah. So he had asked, oh, by the way, could you do a review of this book? And I was like, I'm sorry, I'm a slow reader, but I did finally get it done. I noticed other people were getting reviews up, but it's a great book. I really and you finished reading it also, right, Jose?
Yeah, I'm almost done with it, and there's also a previous kind of prequel story called Red, I think. Yeah, and then there's Blood Red,
and they really need to be read together. So it's good that he put them together into the one under the one book.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's really good, and we will definitely be putting more reviews of this, and we'll be talking to Paul Kane on our next episode. So stay tuned for that.
Look forward to hearing from him.
All right. Well, I think that's it. I think we've done it.
All right. Bye-bye. Take care.
Thanks.
Bye. Take care. Bye.
The Clive Barker Podcast, or Barkercast, is an independent editorial fan site and podcast that is not affiliated with or under contract by Clive Barker or Seraphim Films. This podcast and site are a labor of love by the fans for the fans. News, features, and show notes for this episode can be found at www.clivebarkercast.com. Go to iTunes and please leave us a review. Reviews really help us get the word out about Clive Barker. You can also find us on Podomatic, Xbox Music Store, TuneIn Radio, Stitcher, Doubletwist, Blackberry, and Pocketcast. We have a Facebook page, so come on and like our Facebook page and join the Occupy Midian group for lots of discussion about Nightbreed and other Clive Barker stuff. On Twitter, we're at BarkerCast and at Occupy Midian. Opening theme by Mark Buckle.